All right, I'm calmer and more collected, and we are gonna be talking about the genocide that is currently going on in China of Uyghur Muslims. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If it's not how it's pronounced, I deeply apologize. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I wanted to read a thread that was posted by Maajid Nawaz, who is a personal hero of mine, on July 15th, because he has gone on hunger strike in protest of the Muslim genocide in China. I'll talk a little bit more about my personal affection and reverence for Maajid Nawaz, but I do want to read this thread first. This world needs some love. I declare a hunger strike in meditative silence for hashtag Stop Uyghur Muslim Genocide. Why? 25 years ago, at 15 years old, I saw my Bosnian Muslim brethren subjected to genocide as UN soldiers watched Mladik's malicious slaughter 8,370 plus Bosnian Muslim men and boys in Srebrenica. This atrocity radicalized an entire generation of European and global Muslims, including me. I was active in London, Pakistan, Denmark, and at 24 was illegally held in Egypt for thought crime under emergency powers in the war on terror as an Amnesty International prisoner of conscience and witnessed friends tortured in Hosni Mubarak's dungeons. My torture number was 42. After completing my 5-year illegal prison sentence, I wholeheartedly apologized for my own anger, calmed my soul, and dedicated my life to peace and human rights for all. At considerable personal and emotional cost that I am still bearing, it was the right thing to do. But horror from 25 years ago is back. Genocide against Uyghur Muslims is perpetrated right now by the Chinese Communist Party in East Turkestan. Once again, this genocide is but an inconvenience for the world. I cannot let this happen yet again. In protest against CCP enslavement, rape, and harvesting of my Uyghur Muslim, Falun Gong, Buddhist, or Christian brethren's organs, I am on hunger strike until the UK Parliament agrees to formally debate acknowledgement of the Uyghur genocide. The US is showing us the way. We must pass UK legislation to prevent goods produced with Uyghur Muslim slave labour from reaching our markets. Magnitsky Act sanctions should be explored. At the bare minimum, the UK must recognise the ongoing genocide. I went on hunger strike once before in my desert prison to defend a cellmate from being sent illegally to solitary. Few knew of us then. I lasted 11 days and our demands were met. This is not a drill. I won't repeat the facts here in this thread. My feed contains evidence. Few dispute that 1 to 2 million Uyghur Muslims are held in CCP concentration camps, and evidence for the CCP's organ harvesting human slave trafficking network is in my feed. Just see my timeline. I know this is inconvenient. I am sorry. But as a father, I want to look into my 2 sons' eyes and say, not on my watch, son. Dear President Bush, PMs Blair, Brown, and Cameron, Deputy MP Clegg, you have all met me privately. You all know my work. You know I am consistent. Thinkers, artists, activists, politicians, and humans who follow me. If I once made you smile, please do not just silently nod. This is not a drill. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Boris Johnson, we are yet to meet. Perhaps one day we shall. For the moment, My hunger strike aims to push the UK Parliament to debate recognition of this silent and sanitized genocide against Uyghur Muslims. Dear friends, in or out of parliaments and positions globally, this is a civilizational emergency. Stopping genocide is non-negotiable. Neutrality in genocide is inexcusable. I shall be calling upon you one by one to help me draw a line in the sand. Please do not turn me away. Never again tell me to calm down until you make never again a reality for us. Genocide in China is happening now. Act now. Here is the toolkit and action plan. Stop the Uyghur Muslim genocide. We didn't forget you, my brethren. They just weren't listening, so I had to climb. But they made a mistake. They gave me a microphone. Now I'll not fail you. And Maajid also has linked a... Maajid has also linked a petition that I will be putting in the description below. This is... It's not even a humanitarian crisis at this point. It is just a fucking genocide. It is a fucking genocide that has affected millions of people in the East. And it is not being talked about, and it is not being explored. And I commend Maajid Nawaz for taking this action. And I want to just say that we've heard you. I've heard you. And I want to support however I can, which is why I'm talking about it publicly. I don't know how far this message will reach, but it's important that it is spoken about, because it's not just lives that are being lost, it's people being forced into slavery, it's women being raped, it's organs being harvested from these people, the likes of which we have not seen since World War II. And a lot of the patterns that the Chinese government is taking is very reminiscent of concentration camps from the Holocaust. This needs to stop. And I've seen a lot of arguments, and I'm going to try and not get angry, even though it's extremely angering. I've seen a lot of arguments from our community, people who... I'm not going to group them together, but I've seen arguments from people saying that the Chinese government can do whatever they want on their land. The government is entitled to kill its own people. And I am so fucking sorry, but that is fucked up, and you need to stop with that narrative right the fuck now. We stand by people and their right to live and think freely and practice freely, as long as they cause no harm. And this is atrocious and disgusting behavior, which is kind of why whenever somebody brings this to me, there's very little that I can say. There's very little that I can say except that this is a genocide and it needs to be stopped, and no one is talking about it. And that has to end. We have to talk about it. We can't be silenced on this issue. I'm going to link Maajid Nawaz's Twitter. I'm going to link the petition, and I'm going to link the thread so you can all have a read yourself. Maajid is absolutely serious about this hunger strike. He's on day 3 or 4. If I'm not mistaken, he's on day 3 of his silent hunger strike. So let's get this done. Let's not sit on our hands any longer. Let's not let another million, another 1,000, another person die or be enslaved or raped or harvested under this awful regime. Thank you.